is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Weekly Throwdown and a special welcome back to my co-host. Of course, the man didn't miss any time, but man, coming off of a fresh vacation that was well-deserved. How are you, Mr. Chris?
I am fantastic, my friend. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to win this show right here. You guys already know the drill by now. Look, me, my man, Emano over here, Mr. Jordan. We're going to go against each other head to head, debating the topics, the questions that Her Majesty throws out. She's in the green room right now, getting all dolled up and pretty and ready to go. Yeah, and I'm just kind of ready for this one. And I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good. If you're ready, I'm ready to get this thing started. So, I mean, I'm just kind of jumping. If you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Well, as much as it matters how much you're ready and how much I'm ready, really it only matters if one person's ready. So
is she ready? She's ready?
I think she's ready.
She's ready.
Your queen has arrived. Acknowledge me.
There she is. Now we're ready to go. Let's get this thing started. Jump in. Hey, before we get started, though, tell me about how I can get some free money, man.
You want some free money, baby? You want some free money? Real simple, Mr. Chris Fox. You got to go to Underdog Fantasy, and then you're going to see a nice little box that says promo code. And if you throw down in that box, all you got to do is write the word throwdown. We will throw down a matching deposit up to $100 just for you.
Just like that. So hit subscribe, follow the channel, like us, leave your comments on everything that's about to go down on us and anything that happens at Fantasy Sports Corporation, so you never miss it. Free $100, Underdog Fantasy. Your Majesty, I think we're ready for the first question.
Does the addition of Hopkins improve the Titans' chances of returning to the playoffs? Replacing either of you with a cup of tea and a biscuit would certainly make this show better.
Not very nice, but since I was on vacation and since you technically won the last show, I think you deserve the right to go first, my friend.
Let's go first. Does DeAndre Hopkins make the Tennessee Titans better? Absolutely not. Does DeAndre Hopkins move the needle in any way, shape, form, or capacity for the Tennessee Titans? Absolutely not. Did DeAndre Hopkins make Arizona better? Did DeAndre Hopkins make Houston better? No, I'm not even sure DeAndre Hopkins is still DeAndre Hopkins at this point of his career. He did look good when he came back last year in that limited stretch. And, man, I think he can still turn it up and turn it on. But, listen, I'm not real excited. And I'm going to tell you, I was the guy beating the drum 5-6 years ago for Ryan Tannehill. When back end of his Miami career, beginning of his Tennessee career, I was all about him. But it's over. The dream is gone, baby. Tannehill ain't that guy. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, DeAndre Hopkins has made a career out of catching balls from bad quarterbacks. So he's not going to have a problem, whether it's Ryan Tannehill, whether it's Malik Willis, or whether it's the rookie coming in. So regardless, I think D-Hop's going to be okay. However, I don't think it's going to do much for the Tennessee Titans.
America's team. Thanks, Fantasy Sports Corps. Look, I'm kind of in agreement here. You guys know I host That Effin' Sports Show. Myself, Adam Holz, NFL writer at sportskita.com. Go check him out. We're doing this little rundown. We hit every team. We're doing their entire schedule week by week and kind of seeing where everybody finishes out. I say that not just to promote my own stuff, but to say that we had the Tennessee Titans. I had them at 5 wins this year. I think Adam had them at like 3. The point is, we didn't expect them to do that well. They get D-Hop. Okay. Look, maybe they pull both of them down against Houston now. Maybe they can go ahead and steal one at Tampa because Tampa's a freaking dumpster fire. I don't know. Maybe they get an extra win or two with D-Hop there. But those 2 wins in that division, they could mean a lot. I mean, that could put them like in second place. But Jacksonville is still going to win that division, and it doesn't matter if they get the 2 wins. They're still way outside the playoff picture. I don't really get the signing. D-Hop said he wanted 3 things. He said he wanted a QB with passion, and even if Tannehill has passion, as you said, Tannehill's days are numbered in Tennessee. He wanted a good front office, a good GM. Their GM's drafted a quarterback #1 overall 2 years in a row. I'm looking for a three-peat, to be perfectly honest about it. And he wanted a good defense. Hey, their defense was #1 against the run last year because they were 32nd against the pass. You didn't have to run against them. All you had to do was toss the ball. Look, I love D-Hop. Love the guy. I love his talent. I love everything he did. But he's only played 1 full season like in the last 4 years. And last year, sure, he had 717 yards in 9 games. That's not bad. But the reason he had 9 games was self-inflicted. It seems impressive, but 552 of those were air yards. Only 165 of those 717 were yards after the catch. The guy doesn't have what he used to have. He's not playing with a team that can do a lot. And the only guy that we know has any experience in the NFL at all is just waiting to see how many games he can get in before he's riding the pine. Did Tennessee get better? I mean, they couldn't have gotten worse, but is it going to matter? Not really. That's how I see it anyway. But, you kind of already said all that stuff. So, Your Majesty, who gets it?
Point, Jordan.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You love to see it. And hey, Chris, just sidebar real quick, man. I really got to thinking about it. And you're plugging Adam and the effing sports show, which I absolutely agree with Chris. Y'all should go check that out because it is awesome. But it just dawned on me, you're rocking 2 shows, one with me, one with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Both Cowboys fans, right?
Tell me about it.
You got something brewing over there that we don't know about, Chris? Or are you ready to join the dark side? Because it sounds like you're ready to join the dark side.
No, it's all right here.
America's team.
Right. It's all good. With that, with Your Majesty, let the BS continue. What's the second question?
Do quality running backs deserve a bag like other key positions? I actually think you both deserve a bag. A plastic one, over your heads.
Well, you knew it was coming. We can't ever get a real comment. We can't get any love.
As soon as she said we deserved a bag, I was real scared about what
Thanks, Your Majesty. Appreciate that. Look, that is the big talk right now, running backs, because we saw the league's leading rusher, Josh Jacobs, get stiffed. We saw, we see guys like Dalvin Cook not being able to get a job. We see Barkley getting stiffed. And so now the question is, why are these guys getting stiffed? To me, the answer is honestly real simple. Look, I'm going to answer a question with a question. When was the last time the league's leading rusher won the Super Bowl? I mean, I'll give you a second to think about it. All right, time's up. It was 1999. 99. It was good old TD, Terrell Davis out there in Denver. And after that is about another 25-year span before that. But the thing is, the game has changed, and you can be a fantastic rusher. That's awesome. And you deserve some money for being one of the best guys on the field. But what does it mean to be the best running back in the NFL? It really just means you're the best. It doesn't mean much even for your team. You look at Kansas City last year. They won the Super Bowl, and neither of the running backs were even 1,000-yard rushers. So, the running backs deserve some money. They deserve some money. The average ESPN last night put up a stat. The average salary for running back this season, $11.3 million. I'll take $11.3 million. I'll take half of that. I'll take the league minimum to play running back. So 11.3 isn't that bad when you get a franchise offer for $10 million, even though you got the skills to pay the bills. It really just comes down to you're going to have to go out there and either shop around, or you're going to have to do like the tight ends did and make yourself another receiver position, because that's what this league is about now. It's about quarterbacks. It's about throwing the ball. This is a passing game. Yes, the running game does open up the passing game, so you need it, but you don't need to have the league's leading rusher to win the Super Bowl. You don't need to have the league's leading rusher to win games. So I'm not saying the position is moot. It doesn't have value. It does. But $11.3 million. If you want it to be more, you better start, catching the ball and doing something with it like CMC and Eckler. Otherwise, just being a great runner isn't going to cut it anymore.
I do not think this is an NFL ownership problem. From a roster construction standpoint, I get why you don't pay the running backs. The last guy that really got the bag, Zeke Elliott, that didn't work out so well for us. Before that, you look at a guy like Todd Gurley, didn't work out too well, right? My rebuttal to this, Chris, is if you go through the league-leading wide receiver, man, those guys aren't too much more successful at getting Super Bowl wins than these running backs are. Granted, Cooper Kupp did it pretty recently, but you got to go back a ways before Cooper Kupp to find the last guy that did it, right? Now, do I think something needs to be done? Absolutely. The running back position is, in my opinion, the most physical position, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. Those careers are very short. It used to be running backs hit a cliff at 30 years old. Running backs hit that cliff at 25 years old now, 24 years old, right? You don't have long to get your bag in the NFL. Do I think something needs to be done? Absolutely, because right now, the life of a stud running back is play a couple years in college, put a lot of miles on your legs. You go into the NFL, maybe you're a bell cow, right? You do really good. You're a Saquon Barkley. You're a Josh Jacobs. You absolutely kill it, right? You get a chance to finally get paid at, 24, 25 years old. Well, what happens is now the NFL owners are going to say, nope, I'm going to franchise tag you, and then I might franchise tag you again, and then you're done. Nobody's going to give you a contract. You're out of the league. See you later. Look around the league. Listen, I understand a guy like Dalvin Cook and a guy like Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. They haven't been locked up yet, right? But, man, you look at guys like Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott's still a very young man. I think he's, 26, 27 years old?
26-ish, yeah.
Yeah, he's not an old man. I don't know if that guy ever plays another snap of football. I think he probably
he will, because someone will get hurt.
I think he probably catches on with somebody. But look at your boy Le'Veon Bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
How quick did that burn out? And so I think the way forward here and what needs to be done has nothing to do with the NFL ownerships or general managers. This needs to be something that needs to be addressed in a collective bargaining issue. I don't know the answer, and frankly, I don't get paid the money to come up with the answer. I don't know if it's letting running backs come out of college earlier. I don't know what it is. There's got to be a solution here to allow these young men to, actually get paid for their efforts. But as it stands right now, hell no. As a Cowboy fan, I said last year I wanted us to tag Tony Pollard, run him into the ground next year, and move on with a set of fresh legs. And maybe that makes me a bad guy, but the NFL knows that if we want to win, that is the way forward. And at the end of the day, there's one position worth paying 100% of the time, and it's your quarterback. Everything else, it's variable, right? Some teams are going to have high-paid wide receivers. Some teams are going to have high-paid edge rushers, linemen. If you want to succeed, you typically need that guy at quarterback. So that's all I got to say about that.
Queenie.
Point, Chris.
I may have got the point, but, your philosophy gets you a job at the head office in any NFL establishment. So I think, start putting out your resume and send in that video as far as that goes. But if you get a job in the NFL, you're going to get paid. But you don't have to have a job in the NFL to get paid. You just go over to underdogfantasy.com. Am I right?
You sure can.
Let's bring in our friend to tell them all about it.
Let's do it.
Oh, gingerbread.
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code THROWDOWN to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
And I was going to say this earlier, but for every $100 that you throw down on Underdog, not only do we throw down $100, Gingerbread gets extra treats that day. So contribute to Gingerbread's treat fund by throwing down $100 on Underdog Fantasy.
She's a skinny thing. If you don't go to Underdog Fantasy and use promo code Throwdown, she doesn't eat.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. We'll get PETA on us.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be
That's not true. She eats every day. She eats twice. She's a little fatty, but she likes treats. So go to Underdog. Use the code. Your Majesty, get us out of this.
If you received a Madden rating, it would likely be in the single digits, and that is being generous. Which player was actually graded too low?
I'm pretty sure I could get in the teens, but go ahead, my friend. Who got a bad rating? Madden ratings coming out this week. I think next week we should just do a whole show on Madden ratings, but we'll get to that. We'll see what happens next week. But Madden out. It's ready. Who got snubbed?
So I don't necessarily know if I would call it a snub, but I just want to know, in what world do we live in where Jamar Chase is the 6th best wide receiver, period? Like, what? Jamar Chase is arguably the top wide receiver in the NFL. I will give the nod to Justin Jefferson, but as much as I love Tyreek Hill, as much as I love Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, all those guys, they're not Jamar freaking Chase. That dude is an animal. That dude has been the best wide receiver on every football field I think he's ever been on, except for maybe a little bit of time with Justin Jefferson at LSU. But come on, Jamar Chase at 6. How do I not have that guy's job? Are you kidding me? You had one job, get the rankings right, and you completely and utterly screwed it up. Fire that man.
I hear you, but here's the problem with Chase, right? I love Chase. Chase is amazing. I think he's definitely gonna earn his spot. He's definitely gonna earn his spot. But look, his yardage last year was good for wide receiver 16. His 437 yards after the catch is good for wide receiver 12. His 13 receptions of 20 plus yards, that was good for wide receiver 21. So, I mean, we're out of the top 10 in all these things here. His 10 drop passes, however, was good for 3rd worst in the entire league. The entire league, 3rd worst, 10 drop passes. Man, OVR 94, I think that's being a little nice right now with 10 drop passes. Wide receiver 6, man, how about my boy A.J. Brown only getting a 91? A.J. Brown gets a 91? He was in the Super Bowl, for God's sakes. He was wide receiver number 8. He's wide receiver number 8 right now. Look, his yards after the catch, wide receiver number 2. All right, he only had 6 drops. 23 receptions over 20 yards. That's good for wide receiver 5. And his 17 yards per reception is better than all of them ranked ahead of him. Better than Jefferson, better than Hill, better than Adams, better than Chase. 17 yards per reception. 91? Come on, man. He deserves better than a 91. I hear what you're saying about Chase. Chase is going to be fantastic, but the numbers just aren't there yet. I understand why he's 6. I don't understand why Brown is at 91.
The only thing I would like to rebuttal there, Chris, is you're absolutely right on every one of those statistics, except for you left out one glaring stat. The man played 12 damn games. He missed 5 games and was still pretty much right there with the league leaders and everything else. Jamar Chase is a dog.
Point, Jordan.
Dog.
I think Gingerbread has
Gingerbread's the
on that
dog.
one.
That's
Dog.
right.
That's my dog.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
We should have the Underdog Fantasy Dog of the Week going into the season, where we bring Gingerbread in, and
I like
whichever whichever like cardboard cutout she pees on the leg of, that's the dog.
That's the dog of the week. Let's go.
Now that Mixon is sure to play, where do you have him ranked on fantasy draft day? You guys are number 1 on my RB hosts list. RB standing for really bad, of course.
the queen missed it. She's on fire tonight. I'm loving it.
At least we're number 1. I'll take it. If you're not first, you're last. Mixon. All right. So sure. Mixon's back. That's good. That's good. I'm glad Mixon's back. I don't put him too high. We already talked about the running back position, and you can get points if you happen to grab the league's leading rusher, which seems to change every year. Kind of a crapshoot. I'll pay attention to Fantasy Sports Core. Look for the status coming out. We did a thing last year. We'll back it up this year about where the number 1 running back usually finishes. It's usually outside the top 10. Spoiler alert on that. Mixon, look, not 1,000-yard rusher last year. He only had 826, only 60 receptions. So don't think he made it up in yards, 60 reception yards. I mean, Josh Jacobs had more yards after the catch than Mixon had total yards. Mixon's yards after the catch weren't even top 25. He only had 4 runs over 20 yards. He had 16 over 10, 3.9 yards per run. I mean, you know, I'm not saying he doesn't have value. He plays for Cincinnati, but it's one of those situations. Again, the teams at the top are using running backs by committee. I just don't put a lot of value. You never know who you're going to get, but the breakout guy probably isn't going to be Mixon. Mixon isn't going to pull a Josh Jacobs because that's not the Cincinnati game plan. They got Joe Burrow. They got Jamar Chase. They got Higgins. They are an air team, and they'll give Mixon the ball when they need to. So how high up is he? I mean, top 10-ish in there. But, I mean, look, I'm just going to ask you and answer these freely, Jordan. Would you rather have Mixon or would you rather have Aaron Jones?
Jones.
Would you rather have Mixon or Eckler?
Eckler.
Would you rather have Mixon or CMC?
CMC.
Chubb, Pollard, even
Pollard.
Sanders. You know, I mean, come on. You know, ETN. I mean, the list just kind of goes on. I'm not saying Mixon's bad. I'm not saying he doesn't have value. Like you can put him on your team and he'll get you something. I'm just saying, like, you know, temper expectations. Don't crank him up. Just because he's going to play. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am not touching Joe Mixon, and he will not be on my fantasy roster in any capacity this season. It's over. It's done. What's up, Facebook user? Not sure who you are, but glad that you are here. Joe Mixon has a giant fork stuck in him right now. Yeah. And listen, I get it. On paper, the stats look like he had a down year last year, but not like bottom. No, Joe Mixon had a horrible season last year. Joe Mixon was downright unplayable last year. Joe Mixon was not a top 36 fantasy running back last season. And I get it. You'll throw, well, he finished here and he did this. Joe Mixon had one game against the Carolina Panthers where he had 153 yards rushing, 58 yards receiving, and 5 freaking touchdowns. If you take that one game, just that one game out of the season, that man didn't even rush for 700 yards last season. That guy absolutely got surpassed and then lapped on the depth chart by Samad J. Pirine. The guy who couldn't even cut it in Washington. Are you kidding me? Now listen.
Now playing somewhere else.
Yeah, now he's in Denver, and I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to pick up a share or two of P-Ride because I'm messing with him. That's for another show. I'm not touching Joe Mixon. He is an RB3 at very best. This is very reminiscent. This is very near and dear to my heart. This is Ezekiel Elliott. This is exactly the decline I've watched him walk through. Here's where Mixon will be great. You can give Mixon that rock, and he can be your bell cow, and he'll go out and he'll get you a couple yards every time. But the days of Joe Mixon being a bell cow fantasy RB1 that's going to produce for you is absolutely over. Avoid that man at all costs.
Well, thank you for backing me up, man. Queen.
100%.
Absolutely.
Point, Chris.
I think that's fine. So, you know,
You're lucky.
I backed you up on one. You backed me up on one. Here we are. We're tied up. You know,
You're lucky you went first on that one. Lucky.
Kind of. I think that's fair. That's probably fair.
Bobby, big shot Bob from the True Sarah Football Fantasy Council. That's my bro. I love me some Bobby. Thanks for watching, buddy.
Don't sleep on True Sarah. Good stuff.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you that Fantasy Council. That's where it all comes from right here. I run everything by those guys, the best in the business. And I'm only going to tell you, Bobby, you can't know who the other ones are because that's my secret.
But is still a secret is who's going to pull this down, you or me. Let's find out. We hit the sudden death round. Let's go.
James Harden and Damian Lillard are on the trade block. Who will find a taker first? I tried to trade you in the 7 to 8 figure category. Even paying that much wasn't enough to get you out of here.
So she had to pay to get us out. We didn't get paid. I went first last time, right? So go ahead.
Who gets traded first? I think it's going to be Damian Lillard. I think it's going to be Damian Lillard because at the end of the day, I think Portland has some motivation to move on from Lillard. The rebuild has begun. They've got Scoot Henderson, right? They got some other young pieces there. They took Matisse Thybulle right out from under the Mavs, those sons of bitches. But anyway, I think they're going to want to move off Dame. I think they're going to definitely want to move off Grant and recoup some of that money. And listen, man, James Harden is still a good player. Damian Lillard's still an elite level talent. Damian Lillard's still that dude. He can still hit from anywhere on the court at any time. He's lethal. Dame time is a very real thing. I think it's inevitable that he ends up with the NBA's version of America's team, the Miami Heat with Jimmy Buckets. I think ultimately the only thing that is holding that back, and rightfully so, is I think Portland is holding that man hostage and they want a king's ransom, and that's going to take more than one team to get it done. I honestly don't understand what the hell James Harden is doing with wanting out of Philadelphia to go to the Clippers, first of all. And secondly, what motivation do the Sixers have? Unless if Harden wants to sit some games, man, just sit down and shut your fat ass up and get out there and play some basketball, James Harden.
I think Harden just wants to go closer to home or something like that. Like, I mean, you and me can agree on one thing before we disagree, and that's the fact that Harden and Lillard are probably both going to get traded. I mean, I don't think the Sixers are going to want to hang on to him. He wants out. I mean, the guy used his player option to basically to facilitate his own trade. So I think both these players are going to go, but I disagree with you. I think Harden's going to go because, honestly, of what you said, they want so much for Damian Lillard. And I'm not saying he's not worth it. Don't put me on that train. I'm not saying he's not worth what they're asking. I'm not going to make that judgment. But look, Portland wants 4 first-round picks and 2 quality players. So you're asking a team to give up 2 quality players and 4 first-round picks for this guy. I mean, that's why Miami said, you guys are asking a little bit much. Miami's already declined it once. I'm not saying they won't go out and get him. I'm not saying someone's not going to take it. I would hope that Portland truly doesn't expect to get that, because that's LeBron money right there. I mean, 4 first-round picks and 2 players off your squad for one guy.
That's Rudy Gobert money, baby.
Man, that's
Gobert package.
Big.
That's a discount, yo.
But that's why
Portland.
That's why Harden's going to go first, because, I mean, yes, Lillard's got the higher stats, so you can demand more, but I don't think Harden has any illusion where he's at. I mean, Lillard's averaging over 30, Harden's averaging 21, which is pretty good for someone in his career state. He had his highest three-point percentage damn near his entire career since Oklahoma. Harden knows he's on the back end. I think he's just looking to go somewhere where he enjoys playing. Maybe he has another shot. I think he understands that he's not the guy. He's just one of the guys now. And so I think Harden goes a lot easier. It's an easier trade to make. And that's why I think Harden goes first. Lillard to go, but I think Harden definitely goes first. And with that, my friend, it's
Let's run it.
it's the last time we get to smile at each other for this show. Your Majesty.
Despite my best efforts, I just can't help my feelings for you both. And because of that overwhelming feeling like I am going to throw up. Chris, take over, then get out. Jordan, get out now. I have to go. I'm going to be sick if I keep looking at you two.
Jordan, get out now. Get out now. She didn't say I won, but she didn't say I lost. And
This
she told you
is
to,
the
you to
biggest-
get now.
This is the biggest
No.
travesty since Jamar Chase was ranked as the 6th wide receiver on Madden last week. This is bullcrap.
AJ, show this man the door.
Winner, Chris.
And that means you got to go, my friend, but I love you.
Dumbass.
Loser, dumbass Jordan.
They call me dumbass. Stupid.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Hey, look, thanks for joining us on the show. We're already a little over time, so I'm going to keep it short. But as the winner, that means I get the final thoughts, and you guys are blessed with my presence for the end of this show. I want to use this time to give a big congratulations to the Washington Commander fans. The sale is through. Magic Johnson's on board as one of the owners now. You have no more Dan Snyder and his scandals and his bull crap and his lack of football giving a damn about your team. You guys get to be real fans again and cheer for your team and have your heart behind the guys you root for. And I love it. I mean, they're still going to suck. They're still going to finish last in the NFC East. But hey, maybe in 5-10 years, you guys might finish second or something like that. I don't know. I just appreciate you guys getting the opportunity to be fans again. And I am happy for you. It's too bad Ron Rivera is probably going to get fired and you guys don't have a quarterback. You have a great, fantastic wide receiver, hang on to that. Other than that, crack a beer and pour one out for your Washington Commanders, but you got a new owner and I am happy for that. Guys, look, we are here, Fantasy Sports Corporation, and we are also going to be in Canton, Ohio, on Fantasy Sports biggest weekend, the Fantasy Sports Expo. Head up there August 13th, 14th. It's right outside the Hall of Fame. If you play fantasy sports, you're going to want to be there because we're going to be there. Fantasy Sports Corporation, we will be there. We are here. Go check out Fantasy Sports Corporation. We've got like 17, 18 shows to guide you through your fantasy season, to entertain you, to give you sports knowledge, and just increase your love of sports because we love sports and we love you. Come see us and everyone else. Des Bryant's going to be there up there, Canton, Ohio, mid-August. Come up there. See us at the expo. While you guys are here, hit the little subscribe button. Ring that bell. Ding, 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 ding. And subscribe so you guys never miss an episode. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Please come see us up there in Canton for real. We want to meet you guys. Come meet us. Everyone will be there. The Judge, Jesus, Jason Cooper, they're all going to be there. Nikki Gist is going to be there. Like, everyone's coming. Bassman, Jagger, they're all going to be there. Everybody from your favorite shows, all your favorite guys, come up. We're going to be giving away some prizes. It's going to be a great time. Thank you for coming out. Subscribe, like. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Throwdown, Underdog Fantasy promotion, $300. Go get it. See you guys next time.